We're at the point now where the downfall of the villainous character of this Magical Girl series is going to be a prawn obsession. Like, literally, she can't do anything because all she can do is look at magazines all the time. Episode 4 of Gushing Over Magical Girls continues to be absolutely crazy. I'm really happy to announce that, yes, that Chapter 6 that they skipped last week was a part of this episode. So it did play into my theory that I think they wanted to make Episode 3 mainly focused on Kiwi. And so that makes a lot of sense. They kind of just took that chapter and moved it over, let that whole episode focus on her. And I have to say, the title for the next episode, it might be the series' next big controversy. Not that the series has been really kind of getting much controversy, and I think that was partly because, like I mentioned very early on, it's on High Dive, so not really many people are seeing it. It's not hitting the Crunchyroll. It's not hitting the bigger picture, which again kind of makes it nice that we have this smaller option for anime, because then all the lewd stuff gets stuck over there and nobody complains. We're just gonna be over here with our lewd Magical Girl series. But yeah, the next episode title is literally another character that I think is going to be questionable in that regard. I have not actually looked at the manga to see what they do with that character, but I'm gonna imagine that's probably gonna be the next big controversy. But we'll wait and see see where that goes. But yeah, like I said, earlier part of this episode, getting that chapter 6, seeing, yes, Magenta trying to at least prod at Utena, or at least Brazier, trying to figure out what she's doing. Because I think we've kind of established by this point that each one of these Triss Magia characters seems to be responding to this in a different way. Obviously, Azul really likes it. Sulfur wants to basically compete with her. And then you have Magenta, which seemingly is trying to be the too pure girl. She is the too pure girl that I think plays so well in this little segment, and the idea that she's so too pure and she just wants to help everybody. And she sees that this Magia Brazier is not really defeating them. She's leaving before anything is even done. She's not trying to defeat us. So obviously she's not a bad person, question mark. But obviously everybody else is like, no, obviously she's a bad person. We have to take her down. But again, it plays into what makes that such a great little segment, in which I was kind of upset about it being possibly skipped, is her using scissors on her, completely embarrassing her, and then jump to the second, encounter with her, and suddenly she's wearing all these little kind of pasties and stuff like on her. And it's like, yeah, she's trying to be brave. She has this like idea that she thinks this is going to be the perfect way that I can get back at her. She did this to me, so this is my countermeasure. I'm going to totally get her this time. She doesn't realize that, yes, in fact, she does indeed get Baser. But at the same time, she can't hide the fact that, yes, that's still embarrassing. Like, she thinks that she's going to do this. She thinks she can overcome it. But the moment it's pointed out, you're okay with wearing that? It completely flusters her. And then again, like I said, plays into Baser and the idea that, like, Utena's like, yeah, this is great. I can't believe this. This is so freaking cute. I love this. And she's just nose bleeding. Like, she's gonna pass out from blood loss. It was fantastic. I like how it plays up. There's going to be some realization moment for Utena and the idea of, like, she can do this. Why does she keep fighting? Is it because she's being cheered on? Is it because she's magical? Is it because she has to fight the bad guy? Oh, I don't care. It's super cute. None of it matters because it's super cute, and I want to fight it. It was great. I loved it. It was fantastic. I just like how, like, the entire time the kids and the parents and everybody on the side taking pictures of her, and just, oh, she's so freaking flustered. It's so great seeing how she's like still pushing, and that's something that just totally feeds into Baser. She's just like, yes, thank you, feed me. This is great. It was nuts. But no, this entire time, like I said, the downfall of Utena is going to be her bad grades. Apparently, her mom's going to take away her magical girls, and this is such a wasted opportunity. I really should have checked the manga in this segment to see if something was actually skipped here. But Kiwi apparently is a genius. Shocker, right? Despite the fact that she's trying to put lewds online, she wants everybody to think she's cute. She apparently studies. Now, when it came to the whole situation with Utena, she's freaking out. I can't do this. I keep getting pulled into fighting, and she's blaming it on the fact that she has to fight the magical girls. But as Vena keeps pointing out, no, every time you're at your desk, you're looking at lewds. And we see it. Utena just cannot stop thinking about that. I mean, after the first encounter with Magenta, she's like, holy crap, okay, I got it done. Now I can go back. Dang it, I screwed myself over because now I can't think of anything but the fact that I completely shredded her clothes. But no, it's like, it turns into this moment where she's like, I'm screwed. I'm going to lose all my magical girl merch. Mom's going to throw it all away. And the moment that Kiwi shows up and she's like, oh, please help me. I thought it was going to cut to Kiwi going, okay, this is what you do. You have to send this number, your lewds. And then that's the teacher's number. I thought it was going to be something like blackmail, like Kiwi's blackmailing the teacher into it or something. I could totally see Kiwi doing that, but no, it just cuts and she made it. So I'm guessing Kiwi just showed her some tricks to passing or something. I don't know. It was, like I said, just a missed opportunity there to kind of show Kiwi just manipulating somebody in the faculty or something like that just to get her way. But anyways, to the second part wasn't as entertaining, if I remember correctly, but there is a lot of kind of prodding that we're doing in the overall story. For one sense, yes, Vots finally shows up to hang out with the Tres Magia. She apparently kind of revealed at this point that there is indeed lots of other magical girls. They even talk about magical girl attacks all across the nation. I assumed it might have been Tres Magia running everywhere, but no, there is other magical girls. But the focus here is that Vots is, of course, able to trust Tres Magia to handle things. Doesn't have to keep babying them. And finally, for once, showing up to talk to them. And yes, it seems like he has a plan and wants Tres Magia to help them to get Vena back to their side. And that's something that we kind of hinted at it with the whole explanation that Vena gave to Utena, and the idea that, yes, we're from this other world where they bully us and it's all a lie. But now it kind of seems to imply that it says that we have a plan to take down the organization, but no, wait, to get Vanna back to our side. So at least it's implying this idea that Vanna used to be on their side, that there is an evil organization, and that Vanna has joined that evil organization, not that Vanna is the evil organization. So that was kind of curious there. Additionally, it seems to imply a lot of moments where possibly Sulfur knows who Kiwi is. It has this little moment where it obviously shows the relationship between Kiwi and Utena, how yes, Haruka is trying to invite her to eat with them. Oh, she always eats by herself. How would you know that? She eats by herself. I want to invite her to our group. And then suddenly Kiwi pops out of nowhere and says, no, you homewrecker, stay away from my girl. And then it kind of had a brief moment where it's zooming in on Koroko or Sulfur, and the idea that she's thinking about something sort of implies maybe that break of that facade that is being created by the magic. The idea that they don't know that this is Tres Magia, they don't know this is Utena or Abazer and Leopard. So maybe it kind of seemed like it's implying the idea that Sulfur might figure it out, or at least it's hinting at her slowly figuring it out, which I'll be curious if that's something that they'll eventually get into and having her actually reveal that that's them. But additionally, in this episode, they keep questioning, why do they keep stopping? Why does every time they get to the point where they're being defeated, they just stop? Which is true. I mean, every single time Utena has the upper hand, they end up kind of just leaving. I mean, the assumption from my perspective is obviously that Utena doesn't want to actually defeat them. She is just beating them down and then leaving. She doesn't want to finish them off. Why would she want to finish them off? She just wants to tease them. But yeah, the magical girls are getting a photo shoot. At some point, they mentioned the idea that we're going to sell a lot of magazine because we have a lot of sexy shots of them. Wait, are they looting them too? Is it not just Utena? Is it them as well? I like how Utena's oh, they're at a photo shoot. I gotta look at that up later on. I gotta get those those photos. But yeah, Utena beats them down. Eventually, at some point, Sulfur wants to use her fists. Vots is no, that'll be bad press. And she's well, we're gonna lose anyways. They did imply the idea that it does technically use a lot more stamina and mana in order for her to use it. But they still lose in the end. Seemingly, they still lose in the end because we just get a cut to them all laying there and Utena and Kiwi are gone. Kind of makes me believe at this point that Sulfur is the only one that can use this enhanced self, and maybe Azul and Magenta can never do it because it seems like she's the only one bringing it up, and maybe it's just the fact that Magenta and Azul never want to use it. Obviously, at this point, Azul just wants to get beat. we're at this point now where Azul just thinks of nothing but being beat, and how can she get beat? And whenever somebody else gets beat, she's what did they do to you? I want to know what they did to you. Azul has just given up at this point. They got really crazy with Kiwi's language in the subtitles again. I'm guessing the subtitler or the translator just having way too much fun with Kiwi, and they're just kind of they're doing it with Sulfur too. Sulfur and Kiwi, for some reason, they're just all right, let's just throw a bunch of cuss words in here. It makes them super edgy. From my perspective, cussing doesn't make a character edgy, but translators often think that just putting cuss words in there makes them edgy. It's kind of an easier way of making a crude slang, and it's really all the characters are doing is they're just speaking crudely. But yeah, overall, another interesting and fun episode. I will admit this at this point. I think it was kind of something I was hinted at in the previous episode. It seems like the quality is going down quite a bit. There is a lot more just stills, less funny reactions than we typically get. I mean, there's still plenty of Utena faces, which is something that I love splicing up and putting on Twitter every single week, but it just seems like a lot. It's cutting down a lot in the animation department, and it's feeling a lot more, I guess, stale overall, which kind of sucks. I mean, I don't really expect like high production quality for a show like this or from Asahi Productions. It does seem like this show is doing incredibly well in Japan. I mean, we even have ASMR Utena stuff coming out now already, so it seems like it's doing very well in Japan. So I would hope that they would at least, I don't know, at this point, it's changing the production quality and upping a bunch is just not going to really happen unless they're like animating it down to the wire. Most of the stuff should be animated by this point a month ago, but sometimes that doesn't happen. I hope the quality goes back up, but we'll see. But like I said, I'm just kind of excited and interesting to see what happens next week with the introduction of Nero Alice. That's gonna be a interesting episode, and I'm very curious how the internet is going to react to it. Like I said, thankfully not popular enough because it's not on Crunchyroll that nobody knows about this show, but I'll be definitely here to check it out, and I hope you guys will join me for it. But that's my thoughts on episode 4 of Gushing Over Magical Girls. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button, get my content, and news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, you like this content, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate what it does, and y'all take care.